Hey everybody, welcome to Inside the Green Room with PV3. If you missed last week, I was with my good friend Sean Cannell, who helped us understand the power of a YouTube channel and creating your own YouTube channel. It was so inspiring, and I was actually doing the work as we were live that, I decided to bring Sean back and say, bro, take me behind the scenes of how I can launch and leverage my own YouTube channel. And in the midst of this, as he does this for me, I hope that he's doing this for all of our listeners today. And so I want to dive right into it. Part 2, launching your YouTube channel with Sean Cannell. Hey everybody, it's PV3 and welcome back to this two-part series that we've decided to make a two-part series because I am going to take to YouTube. I was pretty dang engaged, very attentive. I was looking at my computer screen a lot last time, just playing around on YouTube. And so this is kind of cool. We're going to take you behind the scenes of my journey on YouTube. And I thought I'd get started with my dear friend, Sean, not just because he's a dear friend, but literally one of the best in the world at what he does. I'm excited because he is now, his course on YouTube has been a phenomenal course and people have loved it. And I know he's in the studio getting ready for the next version of up-leveling of it. And so I just thought, Sean, let's come back, take us behind the scenes, and dude, help us to build our presence on YouTube, man.
Yeah, I love it, Pete. And thanks for having me back on. And of course, as you just mentioned, I'd recommend, if you haven't listened to the first part, one of probably the biggest takeaways that we need to do before we talk about the how is the why. And we covered a lot of that. Like there's over 2 billion monthly active users on YouTube. YouTube is the only platform where your content lives forever. It's that search engine. You were looking up videos of yourself posted by others and you're like, wait a minute, this is 600 views, 6,000 views, 16,000 views. And it's still sitting there. YouTube is a content library. It's more of an archive, whereas other social media platforms are a content feed. So I believe that it is irresponsible if we have a message, we have a book, we want to be on stages. It's irresponsible not to be on YouTube because YouTube is kind of the ultimate stage when it comes to online video. And online video is the ultimate content format because, if a picture speaks 1,000 words, video speaks 1,000,000. You teach and you've taught me about how to connect with people in emotion, how to raise your voice, lower your voice at times to connect with people and to convey a message. Well, what better platform than YouTube where they can see you, hear you, experience visuals, experience your emotion, experience your energy. And so YouTube is a must. But Pete, let's kick it off and let me ask you a couple questions. Even to maybe justify the ROI as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is it going to take more time? It's going to take more energy. So what is your ambition, obviously, for reach, live, advance your reach? And how does that, maybe your impact vision, but then also your business vision and why you even want to reach more people?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're on a big mission to help our students get on 1 million stages by 2027. And I think the thing that's appealing to me about YouTube is the fact that, like you said, it lives forever. Like last I checked, I haven't looked at anybody's video on any other social channel that was maybe, from more than a couple of weeks ago, because, and so I think one of the things I feel, Sean, is I feel when I get when people experience me on a stage. You were just there recently. I was just on a stage of like 10,000 people. But I also feel like when they experience me on video, it comes across really powerful and connects in a deeper way. So I just would love, I would love to see a couple of things. Like my motivation has kind of grown since even our last interview. I mean, in part 1 of this is it's like, man, we're already doing a lot of organic content creation right now. And so like, how can I leverage a YouTube channel? And then we have some, let's just say close friends that are trying to get their products and services out to the market. And they have, and I know this might not be your wheelhouse or it might be, but they've said that they have seen their webinar conversions on YouTube be much less, much less than they have on Facebook. And if I said these folks' names, everybody would know them. And I was like, wow, I know there's an advertising platform on YouTube, but that's got me intrigued since we've last talked, because I've been putting my feelers out to a lot of people, and I just thought I was too late to the game. And it sounds like, no, I can hop in there and get into the game. So dude, it has everything to do with us reaching more of our people and knowing that when they see us on video, that can be the game changer, the needle mover.
Love it. Now, when you also teach on owning your genius, what are the topics? And if we talk about some SEO terms, SEO is search engine optimization. Video SEO would be video search engine optimization. And we talk about keywords and keyword research, and we just got really technical there. But everybody listening, and this is homework that we all need to do, what are your top 5 to 10 keywords? Like, one of the speakers, I was just at Reach Live, and I was hanging out with her a little bit earlier today, was Chalene Johnson, and she's known for a lot of things, but she's, fitness would be a broad one for her. Obviously, she created PIO, so PIO was a little bit more narrow, which is Pilates and yoga, but those would even maybe be things. You're probably not also a CrossFit expert and a Pilates expert, and whatever it is for you. So everybody listening, like, what are your keywords? For me, online video or YouTube tips. Like, that's what I want to be known for. I help people build their influence with YouTube. So for you, what would you say, maybe 3 to 5 topics you would want to be known for as Pete Vargas?
That's a good question. And just as a reminder to our audience, I currently do not even have a YouTube channel right now. I might, but I've never been on it. So I don't have anything. Like, I just want y'all to know I do have a following. I do have some crowd, but I don't have any presence on YouTube today. Like, literally zero, zilch, nada. And so, what I want to be known for and what I can communicate to the market might be two different things, Sean.
Sure.
Meaning that I want people to understand how to grow their business using stages, but most folks aren't looking for that, I don't believe. They're thinking of what the market would say is public speaking, booking stages. The speaking world would know that. Knowing my content is, that's not, I don't advocate for the traditional way of speaking. I'm not an ad, but the traditional way of speaking says public speaking,
storytelling.
Storytelling is a little bit, but the power of your story. Yeah, sure. I think that's one.
How to communicate powerfully.
Yeah, communication, definitely one. Communicating powerfully is definitely one.
So everybody listening, you want to know those topics. And Pete, you just hit on something that is kind of revelation across the board for social media, and I think can help and be an unlock for a lot of entrepreneurs. We all have missions in our company, but sometimes there's the way that we can help people, and this is kind of marketing 101. Sometimes you need to give people what they want so that you can eventually give them what they need. You can't necessarily, if someone doesn't want what they need, they're going to be very hard to reach. Maybe somebody wants to, ultimately have a better marriage, and maybe they know that, but what they need to do is like overcome ego and like kill their pride and do a bunch of stuff that like nobody wants to do. But the way you might actually hook maybe a husband who's disengaging from his wife is like, does she not understand you? Is she not listening? He's like, yeah, that's right. And if we were a good marketer, it's like, hey, bro, what you need to do is chill. But like the way you got him in maybe, and guess what? We're talking, if we really go down this rabbit hole, it would be, do you want to have more sex with your wife? I mean, come on, you know what I mean? It'd be like, yo, I'm clicking through. Like, and then I was like, well, maybe, because that's what he wants. But what he needs is to know that you got to start the crock pot in the morning in the kitchen and have the encouraging words, take the trash out, and that sex is an all day thing. And this is not a relationship podcast, but so there's what people want and what they need. This is critical because, as you said, I don't know if I'm that pumped about public speaking tips, but here's the key on YouTube. What are people actually searching for? What are the topics? What are the teachings? And so what I pulled up, and to describe what we're looking at here, is I pulled up a keyword research tool that I use called vidIQ. And I actually just looked at public speaking tips, and 25,234 people search that per month on YouTube. And so this starts telling you what the title of a podcast, a video podcast, of a specific YouTube video, and with the content you're potentially already creating, maybe you have a compilation that could be chopped up. Like, doesn't even have to be one video you created. It could be a compilation of a bunch of your stuff. But when we use a keyword research tool, communication skills, 67,000 people a month are searching for communication skills, public speaking techniques, public speaking advice, public speaking anxiety. 6,340 people search for that a month. So we teach research before we press record. And there might be a step before this where we could talk about your YouTube channel and about the brand and about the direction of the content. But what we really just jumped into there was video topics. And a huge mistake people make on YouTube is sometimes trying to do too many things in one video. They want to do a 45-minute training, which is fine. But I would rather, here's the key. It's one niche topic, one keyword phrase. What's a keyword phrase? Public speaking techniques is a keyword phrase. One keyword, one video. One keyword, one video. And what you want is like all of these direct answers to the pain point the person's searching for. And what these are, for an analogy, are like hooks in the YouTube ocean. There's 2 billion people in the YouTube ocean. From communication skills standpoint, we know that obviously public speaking is a smaller niche, but 70,000 people want to learn communication skills. What I would say to you and everybody listening is think about that stage. That's a potential stage on a monthly basis, by the way, of reaching 70,000 or 10% of that audience. 7,000 people that want to find the answer, the person to follow, the person to help to answer that pain point. And you might deliver, just to connect this full circle, you might deliver a couple quick communication skills tips, but at the same time, you're able to say, I'm Pete Vargas, and my passion is actually helping business owners and entrepreneurs grow their business using stages. It goes much deeper than just a few of these skills. How do you scale past the stage? How do you master your story? And if you want to learn more about that, and then boom, you can call people to the next step, whether that's a free gift you give away, a webinar, and all of the things, resources that you have. But in just a few moments of keyword research, we could come up with your next 10 to 20 video ideas. And then the next question would be, do you want to shoot a series on those? Or do you upload past trainings you've done or have your team trim those down? Let me know what you're thinking, because there's a lot of approaches to how we could fill in those content topics.
Yeah. And probably, quite frankly, plan our content topics, because right now, every Monday we go into our free Facebook group and just deliver some training, and probably should start being a little bit more intentional with we are intentional, but not around like keyword searches or anything of that sort. So, that's training that's already happening every Monday that could be repurposed,
And that brings up a great illustration for those listening and for you. I want to talk about Rachel Miller, she has a lot of genius, but her main genius is helping people with Facebook and Facebook groups. So here's her promise. Grow your audience on Facebook, and I'm going to upload one new video a week. Pete, you're already doing this because you're already putting the training in the Facebook group. That's what she does, is she repurposes her Facebook trainings. Now, what I might do is 2 different tips. One, I might think a little bit different about what you're teaching in your Facebook group, because you're thinking past Facebook and you're thinking about how is this going to live on and impact your YouTube audience. And what title will this eventually be underneath in YouTube? But Rachel is a Video Ranking Academy member, and YouTube is not even her main platform, but from repurposing some of her Facebook trainings, she's uploaded one in the last month. She grew by 190,000 subscribers, 11,000 views. Her channel's at 3,500 subscribers.
Not 190,000 subscribers, was it?
190.
90. Yeah.
190, which is, by the way, this is then a secondary, just an extension of basically what you're already doing.
Yeah.
She's got took a few photos, and her team will edit up the thumbnails. The key though is on YouTube, you really want to be intentional about your title, your thumbnail, and your video optimization, your description and tags, because YouTube, because it's a search engine, you can rank for your videos, you can rank in search. And so when we look at what she's doing here, she's not even actually dressing up the content in any kind of a fancy way. I think the one other opportunity you would have is maybe taking your Facebook training that you're doing and even direct to phone, teeing it up for YouTube at the beginning and the end. So as soon as it's done, you just go, hey, have you found it struggling to overcome the anxiety of public speaking? I don't blame you. Like it's one of the second to like death and taxes. Public speaking is reported as the most scary thing. So in this very video, I'm actually going to be, sharing 3 tactics, kind of mind tricks to get into the right state so that next time you're going to be on stage, or if you want to build it out, you're going to have more confidence and less anxiety. So let's cut over to that training right now. Boom. And then it just plays the Facebook training. And then maybe at the end, and this is as we get into more, YouTube native practices, you come back on camera and you go, hey, so YouTube, I want to pass the question off to you. What other topics would you want to see on this YouTube channel? Tell me in the comments below. If you got value out of this video, hit like. And then if you want to see another video, on this channel, once a week, we upload a video that's going to help you develop more confidence and master your skills as a speaker, win stages, master your story. So click that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. And then you cut to like an end card. And these are just the type of like clickable cards and things that could lead to a viewer maybe binging your content on YouTube, which would be a good thing.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Do you have that search thing up there, or the search deal?
Yep.
What is it? What is the fear of speaking? What does that rank?
So I'll show you another hack that we can do here while we're pulling this up.
Not much.
Fear of public speaking, 5,000 people a month are searching for that. That public speaking anxiety. So this is also, this is so powerful because what we're actually seeing here is insights into the words and pain points of really humanity. Because again, YouTube's a global platform, it depends where users are, but it's like, what are the words they're using? What are the things they're saying? But here's a quick way that anyone right now, pull your car over, hop off the treadmill. It works on your phone. It works better on desktop. If you go to the YouTube search bar and you type in like public speaking, YouTube will finish your sentence for you in order of the topics that are most popular and most desirable on YouTube. So public speaking tips is number 1. Public speaking training is number 2. Public speaking anxiety is number 3. You could put another space, public speaking tips for kids, public speaking tips for students. But here's the hack, Pete. And for those, if this bonus training gets posted online, if you put an underscore space before public speaking, fear of public speaking, the art of public speaking, how to not get nervous public speaking. This is the power of research before you press record. Because if we do this quick process, maybe you were just handed the title. In Facebook next week, I'm going to talk about how to not get nervous public speaking. 3 tips for overcoming anxiety. And now you already know, you're starting with the end in mind. Hey, we're going to throw this on our new YouTube channel we're starting. And in the meantime, I know how I'm going to word that hook, that headline, and I'm just going to deliver on that one topic. And for you and everybody listening can do this in their niche. You start doing and you're like, wait, I know that. I could answer that. Like, these are great. Like, let me make a video on that. Like, right? You get pumped. You're like, well, this is like what a friend would ask you at Starbucks. Like, hey, how do you not get nervous public speaking? You might be like, number one, I still do. But number two, here's what I do, or whatever. And so to summarize that tip, go to the YouTube search bar if you're listening to this, type in some of your topics. Maybe you help people lose weight. Maybe you help them with wealth management. Maybe you help them with education. That's why you want to know your kind of 5 to 10 keywords. Then you can start doing research around them. And what you want to do is research before you press record. And it gives you all these insights and the exact video ideas you should make.
Sean, how long is the ideal time of a video on YouTube?
I think that has a lot to do with setting expectation. So another example, which I think this would be like stage 2, you could learn from, is Live Baylash as kind of like what your YouTube channel could look like. So they're running an 8-figure lash company, meaning they've got 2 physical stores in Las Vegas with lash artists that are doing lashes on people. And then they also sell lashes and the glue and the accessories and the tools. And they've even opened up like a factory in China to make them. And then number 3, they do masterminds and training to help lash artists make more money, learn the techniques, and learn how to build businesses. Their YouTube channel has been a major driver. They fired their marketing company, and they've been using a lot of this fan base and the organic that they're building. And they're doing 2 different things on their YouTube channel. Number 1, they're doing a video podcast. And I think that's one opportunity for you. And it could be as simple as starting on Zoom. And when you're in live with somebody, you could give a couple handheld mics, a little recorder, and just turn on the camera. And now you have the video and the podcast. By the way, the video might not even be the biggest part of the podcast. It's just, if you're only uploading to Spotify and Apple and Google, the Google Store, Google Play, you're missing out on the search opportunity of YouTube. We're looking at a video right now on how to start a lash business with no money. It's getting 13.8 views every single hour. The video came out March 5th, a year ago, and yet 14 people an hour are watching it as we speak, and it's a 21-minute video podcast. It's because it ranks in search, and that's what we teach in Video Ranking Academy. Our program is all the best practices for how to do this. But I mean, it's a 21-minute video, but I think, Pete, the way to say it is your videos should be as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. I mean, how to start a lash business is not a 3-minute answer. It also is much deeper than 21 minutes, but just as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. But here's the 1-2 punch strategy that Live Baylash is doing. And this could be maybe the next level for Advance Your Reach. Number 1, if you can turn the podcast into a video podcast, we have the opportunity to do that right now. We're in Zoom, so we are capturing the video.
Yep.
That's all you need to have then the video podcast, and then you could still hit the audio platforms. And there's 1 upload a week. The second content format is then a search-based intentional video. So for them, they do how to prep lash extensions. They teach one thing specifically: best tweezers for lashes. So these could be videos that it could be a portion of one of your keynotes. It could be an actual keynote. It could be a portion of one of your webinars or deeper dive trainings. It could be the full thing. Or it could be you teaching direct to camera, and maybe you want to put out a 4-part series or a 10-part series on public speaking, and you batch produce it. You set up the camera, and you actually intentionally, that's what they do. You intentionally shoot the videos for YouTube to answer those questions that you discovered in research. And you don't necessarily have to commit to that forever. Maybe your video podcast is a weekly thing, but maybe you just do a series. Just like a TV show releases 10 episodes, you release a 10-episode series, because YouTube is the only platform where your content lives forever. And when you put out good content that is reverse engineered around these pain points that we discovered, getting nervous speaking, how to speak confidently, that would be a little bit different. 1 keyword, 1 video. How to speak confident, even though it's maybe even the same answer, every single keyword that we research here, Pete, I think should be 1 video. Because you don't just want to talk about anxiety once. You probably want to talk about it once or twice a year. And with the brand and the legacy that you're building, how many times have I made the video best camera for YouTube? Every year.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have I made the video how to grow your YouTube channel? Multiple times a year in multiple different ways. Because the world's noisy. Of course, you're going to repeat too. Repetition is the father of learning. But when we create variations on the title, the power of ranking videos, as Russell Brunson would say, you're one funnel away. I'm here to tell you you're one ranked video away. And so you commit to the process of putting out the best video possible and different types of content. But the cool thing about YouTube is when you commit to the process, 3 months pass, 6 months pass, you look back and you go, whoa, that third video we uploaded is now at 10,000 views. 2 years pass. It's at 200,000 views. And in the video, at the end, I give a call to action to our deeper dive training. And now that video has driven 100 leads, 1,000 leads. Now that video has driven 10,000 email opt-ins. And some of them have driven 7, and some of them have driven 25, and some of them have added value to your audience on a week-by-week basis. That's the foundational commitment. People are like, man, I'm subscribed for the promise that this is the go-to YouTube channel to help me build my business with stages, but now, and I'm getting value weekly. That's your subscriber base. But you get to serve people at 2 different times. It's not just people in your Facebook group. It's like while serving your subscribers, you have a chance for these videos to break out and blow up your brand when they're optimized the right way, structured the right way, when they're following our proprietary process in Video Ranking Academy. That gives you the edge, and we're basically breaking it down right now as much as we can in the time given. But it gives you that edge to be making the right videos for the right audience, optimizing them. But that was a long answer to your question of how long it should be. I think, as short as possible, be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. But if you're teaching a valuable concept, if it takes 20 minutes or if it takes 40 minutes, it can still perform very well. If it just needs to be that long to add the value you've promised in your title.
So what, a couple of things, and then I'm going to get a little bit really tactical here for everybody to kind of end here, like really, really like step by step here. What makes a person decide to become a subscriber of your channel? Like, what is it how do you begin to see when you're doing things well, and you start beginning to cruise, are you starting to see your just subscribers go up every single day?
Yeah. And so, probably one of the best examples of a YouTube channel for me is the one I started most recently called Think Marketing, which is also our new podcast, the Think Marketing Podcast. The reason I would say it was the best is because it's the newest. So after 10 years of experience, learnings, lessons, is I started a brand new YouTube channel. Now, obviously we have other influence and whatnot, but the channel is about, it's 2 months old. It's about 2 months old, and we only have less than 10 videos. We're growing by 2,260 subscribers a month, and we're publishing 4 videos a month. This is just for our video podcast. 21,000 views a month. And speaking to the idea of length, it's people going into it know that it's actually titled. In the title, we say hashtag Think Marketing Podcast with the number. I think that's the key. If you make a promise in the title, most people think, oh, it's a YouTube video, it should be 7 minutes. But if it's a podcast, well, it's probably going to be 30 minutes to an hour potentially. And so anyways, we started a brand new channel, and we have a channel trailer. And I think that not essential, but the point of a channel trailer is this comes back to clarity. Why are you getting subscribers? Is because you start with the end in mind. Why should people subscribe? What are they going to get on? Why should they keep coming back? Who are you trying to reach? In your case, you know this better than me, but obviously it's someone who cares. They want to be on stages. They want to grow as a public speaker. They want to meeting planners. They want to get booked. And what problem do you solve for them? How do I actually book more stages? How do I become a better? So then it's articulating that in the video and delivering value. That's what's going to lead to a subscriber. Number one, they're like, wow, he said 3 tips for overcoming being nervous before you speak. Those were really good tips. And then number 2, you say, and by the way, if you got value out of this video, hit the like button, and then make sure to subscribe if you want, weekly videos that are going to help you book more stages, master your message, and scale past the stage. Then you might even sneak something in. One of our students recently not only just booked stages, but ended up doing $25,000 in sales because of booking a local free stage. And I'm going to be teaching on that next week here on the channel, which would still be just as evergreen because that person would probably dig up the video later, even if they watch that video in 2 years later. You know what I'm saying? It's just giving people a why to subscribe. And there's no need for gimmicks. Not that you'd go there, but what I mean is there's no need to try to trick subscribers. Here's what matters on YouTube. You want to actually curate a group of people that are subscribed for a particular reason because YouTube wants to stereotype your channel. It's a good thing for YouTube to put you in a box because what they want, that's over time, you'll season the YouTube algorithm. So what YouTube will start, because here's what they'll start saying. They'll say, okay, person X is interested in public speaking. How do they know that? Based on their search intent, based on the last couple of views they've watched. Then they say, wow, Pete's channel is 6 months old and his topics and his themes and even his subscribers, they're so consistent. They want more of this. They weren't tricked into subscribing because of this random video he did about a trend. They're here because it's a curated audience that's interested in getting inside the green room. And then that's when things really get crazy is YouTube, first of all, stereotypes you, and then they start promoting you because they want people to spend time on platforms. So if you're putting up good content, they just want to deliver more to people with the desire for your type of content.
That's awesome. So a couple of things to kind of bring this full circle. So starting knowing what you know about us, if we were going to go start our channel, obviously I want to own the speaking and stages. I want to own that. Advance Your Reach doesn't really do that. I don't know if Inside the Green Room, which is obviously the name of this podcast, does that. Would you begin to think about a channel that's specific to speaking and stages? What would you think about from how we should title our channel or name our channel? Or seems like the first step, we got to go create a channel, don't we?
Yeah, that's definitely step one. 2 options. It has to do with your long-term vision. So you really, and everyone listening, I bet there's pretty much 2 options. Do you make a brand name channel? My brand, Think Media, is what my channel's called. Or do you make a personal brand channel? Personal brand channels, Shalene Johnson, Lewis Howes.
I've just went to your personal brand ones, or your other ones. So you're quicker on the mute button than me, bro. So.
Yeah, right. Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, first, last name. That's how they're doing their channels. You do have the opportunity. Eric Worre, GoPro. He has both in his title last time I checked. So the long-term answer to that is I guess Gary V has got Gary Vaynerchuk, and then he's also got Gary V snippets, Joe Rogan, JRE show, JRE clips. So it's more of just a personal decision. I think Pete Vargas makes a lot of sense. I think Advance Your Reach does as well. I think Pete Vargas would grow bigger because it's YouTube. People relate to you, the person, but brands can certainly grow bigger as well. It has to do with your vision. Mind you, Think Media now has Nolan and Omar and Heather creating content on it. So I'm like, thank God. By the way, I assuredly have built a personal brand. I would think there's definitely awareness of me as Sean Cannell, but I haven't even, in my opinion, started building my Sean Cannell brand. My Sean Cannell brand it'll probably be more biz dev, but personal development, life development, even faith. And I've got it tabled as far as the YouTube channel goes. And I'm going deep in, I help you build your influence with video and YouTube for the next 5 years at least. And so that's more of just kind of a self-awareness vision, but let's break it down. I would start a Pete Vargas channel. On that Pete Vargas channel, Inside the Green Room could be one of the weekly uploads. Think of your Pete Vargas channel as Fox, the network, and then think about the videos as the shows. All the shows deliver on the promise of stages, But Inside the Green Room comes out every Tuesday, and it's either Zoom or other kind of video podcast. A keynote comes out randomly because it's a special when you want to upload a special video. And then Tip Thursday is a 3-minute tip that comes out. You don't have to start all that at once. Mind you, I'm pumping out a lot of content on a lot of different channels. I would encourage you and everybody listening to ramp into this slow. On the Think Marketing podcast, or the Think Marketing YouTube channel, I should say, we eventually want to do live streams about like how to set up funnels and paid ads, and we want to add extra videos, but we understand that it takes time to like get systems dialed. So all we've been uploading is 1 video a week, just to see if we can sustain it with our team and with the podcast and get everything done. And then what we are doing is that's it for now, but you can always add on later. So that would then be the next recommendation. I would say I would start your YouTube channel with 1 upload a week. And I would also not judge the results or worry about it too much for 3 to 6 months, meaning ramp up to it slow. Now, if you want to go crazy and you've got the bandwidth, but that'll also help season the algorithm and get yourself and whoever's working on it used to kind of a workflow, used to, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of want to crawl before you walk, before you run, before you sprint, and make sure that you onboard anything new and do it at a world-class level. And what I mean is this: I would rather you release 1 video a week and spend time making sure it's optimized well according to Video Ranking Academy, and then make sure that it's shared. Have your content team, Twitter, did you hear about the new YouTube channel? Instagram swipe up, or just Instagram link in bio. Have you seen this week's video? Facebook, not always the best because they reduce your reach. Meaning the video comes out once a week, but you spend a few days promoting it. I would much rather you go deeper with 1 solid content piece a week and then spend the rest of the week promoting that to kind of get the channel conditioned and get it ready, than to spread yourself too thin too soon with so many videos coming out and people don't even know about them. Last tip on that, at some point, and I probably wouldn't do it until you've got 4 to 8 weeks under your belt of consistency. And you could obviously lob out like a one-off email, but eventually, once you've proven to yourself and your team that you're like, we can sustain this consistently. Inside the Green Room is a sustainable video podcast. Done. Like, we have a presence there. And then we can add to that, but that's the foundation. Every week, there's 1 episode a week. So good. And we have episodes in the can and whatever else. You send an email and you treat it like a mini launch. Many of your listeners know what a launch, like a product launch is. You do launches. You launch your podcast in the sense of you tell it, or your YouTube channel, in the sense you tell your Instagram following about it. You tell your email list about it. Not only do you send to them once, but then you resend 12 hours later to the people who haven't opened. You eventually take it to a place where you're like, we're doing this. This is a pillar of content. And when you look at a lot of top entrepreneurs like a Gary Vaynerchuk or a Marie Forleo or a Brendan Burchard or a Grant Cardone, they have YouTube presences, and YouTube is a serious pillar of influence for them. Why are they doing that? It's not by accident. And so once you feel like you've got a base, so to quantify that, again, we're literally 11 videos in on Think Marketing, about 11 weeks. I haven't considered us having, if you will, launch that YouTube channel, which might sound like a contradiction, but I really feel like that thing I'll be ready to get lit on it in 6 months. We shot the first 10 episodes, just batched them quick and like kind of so done is better than perfect for all of this strategy and for all of this, tips. I would want everyone to commit to starting YouTube and then to commit to ramping up to it, because things really get real 3 months in and 6 months in, but you want to get comfortable with the platform, comfortable with being consistent there, comfortable with learning the best practices, definitely taking time, if it's right for some people, to check out our program, which will hold your hand through the step-by-step best practices, which is an opportunity if you're a solopreneur to take it yourself and run your YouTube channel, or to hand the program off directly to a team member and say, okay, hey, we've got my keynotes, we've got my pieces of content, follow this process, follow this system, and that way you've got your titles dialed, your thumbnails dialed, your tags right. You can get into stuff like time of day, of when's the best time to release videos, and a lot of things, but all of that, I believe, comes secondary to punching fear and perfectionism in the face, pressing record and getting those first videos done. I hope I got my first video on my personal channel where I'm like, it's terrible, but I show it when I talk, and people just laugh. And it's amazing because that's part of the process. Like, your first YouTube video probably shouldn't be that good. And in a sense for you've been creating live streams and stuff. It's not even your first thing. It makes me think about Pete. What was your first video? Like, when did you film your first video that's on the internet? And can we still find it?
Yeah, for sure. It's my first one with at a Brendan Burchard event that was 3 minutes, and it was awful. So,
yes.
Yeah. No, dude, this is so good. This is so good because I'm such a practical guy. So starting with the channel was like a steps guy. Like, I'm a fast start. I'm a quick start. So if you told me the first 5 moves, I want 5 moves in 60 seconds. What are those 5 moves? I have nothing right now. No channel, no anything. We got into that. And the other thing I was going to say is, if I'm thinking about potentially one day selling the brand Advance Your Reach one day, then it might make sense to begin to build that channel, right?
And that's exactly what I'm doing with Think Media.
Okay.
It's not, yeah. So I think it's just as brilliant, and that's reverse engineered to what your end vision is. That Think Media could be a tech blog, a tech, if you will, like CNET or The Verge. We talk about cameras and tech tips, and I'm bringing other talent in. I was even inspired by how Grant brought Jared into Young Hustlers, and now Jared runs Young Hustlers himself. So bringing in even other characters, whatever. So
Think Media with the million subscribers, is that a personal brand, or is that
I'm shifting it? I'm steering it and introducing other people right now.
But the one with the million people followers,
I built it to like 900 without anyone else.
Okay. So, but you want that one to be be more of a company brand, a brand, correct, right? Okay.
100%.
Gotcha. So I'll probably start that way because I'm not trying to be, you say Brendan, I'm not trying to be a Brendan Burchard. Like, I don't want to be the one that has to be known. I'll always be a spokesperson for our company. Yeah. But like, for the first time ever, our company is at a place where I'm not the dancing bear, as Roland Frazier says, that when I dance, we do well. And when I don't dance, we don't do well. We've shifted that significantly. So that probably is the first move, is a company page. People buy into the company now, the team, the whole thing. So if that's our first move, what's moves to 2, 3, 4, and 5, Sean? What would you say?
So then I would say your next step is actually to upload your first 10 videos, not like necessarily all at once, but get your first 10 videos posted without overthinking about it, just off the tips in this video.
So nothing, don't go start researching keywords or nothing. Just what I think, just based on what we talked about.
Yeah. And with what we've talked about, like, your title might be influenced to be like 3 tips, and you already write headlines. It depends on where people are starting, meaning you already know you'd want to, just like a good podcast title, a good blog post title, make it a good YouTube title. I mean, definitely do a title, but you don't need to think about over optimization yet because you're starting from scratch. So we're in like a beta experimental phase for 10 videos. Seeding vision with the team under this phase is kind of like just sort of a soft beta launch is step 2. Just a soft beta. I mean, even looking at Think Marketing, I just posted a picture of our team. I didn't create a banner. There's no like tagline promise on it. I was like, I hate the logo. I know the logo's good. I don't like the blue. We can tweak it a little bit later. We just started. Like, we just wanted to get it. We had enough, and you've got enough clarity. So step 1, start the channel. Step 2, do a soft beta. Step 3, self-promo here, but I would fill out our Video Ranking Academy clarity guide. It's a 10-page guide that paint by numbers helps you just like, okay, who's your audience? Going to help you refine your tagline, which you probably already have dialed, but it's like, hey, you are a team member in a video. Here's what I say. Welcome to Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence on an online video. On this channel, we do a lot of camera reviews as well as camera and tech tutorials so that you can build your influence faster on social media. So if you're new here, click subscribe.
So if somebody doesn't have that guide, because obviously I'm an advocate for your course, and we'll be talking about that in the outro, just how you can find out more about Sean. But what would they replace that with if they didn't have access to that guide? What would they be focused on in step 3?
I mean, it would just be like, you could probably Google like a branding worksheet. We didn't really think about it too much, but you would be, at this point now, you're thinking about your clarity in your colors, in your messaging, in your content calendar. You're thinking about, the famous book, Art of War, Sun Tzu, the famous military general. He said this: every battle is won before it's even fought. So I'm saying step 1, start your channel. Step 2, soft beta, because I think you could get into analysis paralysis, overanalyze, get way too strategic too soon. I want you to start messy. So start the channel, start messy with that soft beta phase. But then step 3 is now you're like, well, we're 10 videos in. And by the way, that might be 20 videos in. Now you're like, let's dial in our strategy. What's our content calendar? What video ideas should we be making? You know what I mean? Like, and it's honestly a lot of nuances, but step number 3 would be to then dial in that strategy, which, I mean, those are probably the first 3 steps. I got all S's for you that I'm just freestyling off the top here, Pete. Stage to scale method. Start the channel, soft beta. Number 3, strategy. Number 4, scale. Scale up your team. Scale up, if
Even your
like,
videos.
help. Yeah, scale up the amount of uploads. What's so funny about social media, especially YouTube, because it'll eventually, which leads to number 5, it'll create the snowball.
There we go. We're trying to get you're like me, bro. So,
but so here's what I know about Think Marketing, which just is very apropos because I'm 11 videos in on my new channel. I'm like, look, this channel is going to get crazy once we're a year into it. And so I just want to I'm one of those entrepreneurs where I'm like, let's do more there. What else can we do? Let me go live. Like, it's like, no, YouTube is like a fine wine. It gets better with age. And what we've already done here, which is crazy, is these videos that are a month old, you could see now. I'm on a trending tab with vidIQ. If you're just listening, what we're looking at is what's called view velocity. It's videos that are getting views per hour, but these aren't like, your Facebook post from yesterday. This 2-month-old video is getting 1.2 views an hour. So what happens is eventually this page will be full of content, and that's what will happen for you. Public speaking this, public speaking that, storytelling this, storytelling that, and different videos that'll pop up, an interview you bring with somebody on. Like, because you have a lot of different things that can grow. But if we look at this trending tab on Think Media, it is a page packed with videos getting 125 views an hour, 97 views an hour, 69 views an hour, 12 views an hour. And not even all the videos fit on the page because because we have so many on Think Media. That's the snowball.
Yeah.
That is the snowball of YouTube. And that is for those, I helped one of our students. I pulled up an example. His name's Darren Kidd. He does different kind of network marketing stuff. He's got 3 years old videos that building his list, building, who's like seeing his stuff that are getting 10 views an hour for how to get started in network marketing. We've got Beloved Woman. She's got a Christian Bible study and she's building up a free Facebook group with that, repurposing her Facebook lives that she's doing, on there. It's even at the early stage with not 1 million subscribers like Think Media, because that might be the objection. Well, easy for you to say, well, sure, of course. You got Tanya Eliza. She batch produces videos, her process. She shoots 3 videos at once. One of our students helps people kind of in the network marketing space as well, and biz dev. And she sits down one at a time. She always shoots 3 videos. And then she shoots about every 3 weeks. And she just does these specific topics. And what it's created for her is, again, there's those breakouts, 7 Facebook algorithm hacks, network marketing training, and these videos that get you, here's the dream, views while you snooze.
Yeah.
Building your business on autopilot, leads, emails coming in on autopilot, people getting to know you. You're replicating yourself. I think about this as the Star Wars clone army. I've cloned myself and I'm building my business in YouTube form. When I'm sleeping or when I'm hanging out with my wife, Sonia, and whatever we're doing, we're on vacation, I'm doing volunteer work. Doesn't matter. My business is growing on autopilot from the second most viewed website, second largest search engine in the world, number one video platform in the world, the only platform where your content lives forever, YouTube. Is it going to take work? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be worth it? Yes.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. So, hey, everybody, this is what we're committing to. And, you know, we're committing to really getting our channel set up. You know, we're committed to the soft launch, the getting 10 videos up there, figuring out our strategy after that. You know, then thinking about how we are going to, I forgot what the fourth one was. Snowball, scaling it, beginning to scale it up. And then seeing the snowball effect of how many people are watching that video on any given hour. Like, that's a powerful thing to be thinking about. So, man, Sean, this is unbelievable. And I know that we've created a link that is, I want you guys to go there to find out more about the resources that Sean has to really help you in your journey with YouTube, because today we're just scratching the surface and going behind the scenes of what we're going to do. So, Sean, I appreciate you for being with us on this 2-part series, man.
Pete, I appreciate you. I'm so excited for your YouTube channel, and I have no doubt. By the way, I mean, I've been to Reach Live 2 times. I've been through your programs. Storybraid framework has transformed my talks. I've worked with Pat Quinn. I mean, it's crazy the impact that Advance Your Reach has made on my life. And so I know this is needed. I mean, YouTube needs your information, your proprietary process, your way of doing this. And so I'm just so excited about seeing you lean into YouTube and help more people get on those million stages and make a difference with their message.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And I'm stoked about it too. Very excited about it too. And just doing some searches and cannot find anything that on Google that basically says channels that are dedicated to people to helping them with speaking. Like, blows my mind away. Not easy to find that channel. And we're going to change the game on that. So I appreciate you, man. Everybody, this concludes this episode. And Sean, appreciate you being with us in the green room.
Hey everybody, what an incredible second part. I actually had my video guy, Jared Henderson, on this call with me because we're ready. Like, we're ready to launch. We're ready for this to impact our vision. And it was so good to learn the best practices that he talked about, and how to shortcut it, and how to find the titles for your business, and just really teaching one thing. Like, we all can teach one thing. And then repurposing so much content that we already have. So I'm so excited that Sean helped us pull back the curtain for you. And so we will be launching it. And man, I cannot wait to see you next week on Inside the Green Room with PV3.